Hello, my name is Stephen Wright. I'm a career coach here at Career Mentor, and we help high-performing financial services professionals make their next smart move. The conventional wisdom is that it is a great idea to create a plan for the first 90 days before you join a new job, before you join a new company. And I think it's a great idea. After all, you want to hit the ground running, set the right tone, and have an outstanding first few months in that new job. However, I think we can go one step further, and that is to create a first 90-day plan during the interview process. And there's some really good reasons for this. Let's go through them now. The first is that it will absolutely enhance your due diligence process. By writing a first 90-day plan, it will force you to really think through the issues in depth and will throw up a whole load of unanswered questions that you can then use as part of your due diligence questions during the interview process. So I'm going to suggest that by doing this, it may well even prevent you from making a bad move. If you find out the answers to those information gaps, you may conclude that this job or indeed the firm is not the right place for you and can therefore prevent you from making a bad mistake. The second thing is that it will differentiate you from the other candidates who you're competing with for this particular role. I doubt that many or indeed any of the other candidates will have created a first 90-day plan. And when it becomes apparent to the interview team that you have got a first 90-day plan, that's going to be really impressive. It will show that you're taking them very seriously and that you're being very professional about this process. Linked to that is the third point, is that they may well ask for a first 90-day plan anyway. And how impressive would it be if you say, well, actually, I've already been working on one and I can send it to you right now if you'd like me to. That's going to be very impressive and again, will differentiate you as a very strong candidate for the role. The fourth thing is that I think it will enhance your negotiation into the job. So the time to negotiate for your remuneration is before you sign on the line because you still have some sort of leverage at that point. I would argue that the time to negotiate for the resources that you're going to need in order to do this job is again before you sign on the line while you still have some leverage. If you've done your first 90-day plan, you have a very clear idea about what this firm wants you to achieve. It's then possible for you to start to think about, well, what resources am I going to need in order to achieve this? Now, most businesses are going to be very enthusiastic to provide you with the wherewithal in order to get the job done. But maybe not all jobs are not all firms are that well organized. And I can give several examples of people who've been asked to achieve fairly chunky results and targets, but the only resources they were given was half the time of an untrained intern, for example. So negotiating for resources will become more easy because you're clearer about what you're going to need having done the first 90-day plan. The final point, number 5, are a couple of warning points or a couple of pointers. The first is that by writing a first 90-day plan, you want to come across as being very professional, very thorough, and very diligent in the way in which you go about things. But it wants to be done in the right tone. It does not want to be done, obviously, that you're being quite presumptive about the job is yours and you already think that you're the lead candidate or that you're going to get hired. So there wants to be no sense that you're being presumptive in any way. Second point is that it will, as you do the first 90-day plan, you will be making some assumptions about what the facts are and what the situation is. And I just ask you to be cautious about any assumptions you're making because unexamined assumptions, in my view, are a gift. Because they provide you with the opportunity to really dig into the information gap that lies behind that unexamined assumption. So be careful about making assumptions, identify the unexamined assumptions, and then dig into what lies behind them. The final point to make is that the first 90-day plan that you first draft will change over time. In fact, it will change over a complete process. Let me explain what I mean by that. As you create the first 90-day plan during the interview process, you will then be prompted to ask more questions of the interview team. That information will then shift the way in which you are creating your plan. In fact, when I'm working with my clients on the first 90-day coaching program that I have. We create the first 90-day plan before they sign so that we can enhance the negotiation. But also we check in 10 days after they've joined, and then at the 30-day, 60-day and 90-day points. And each one of those points of inflection, we ask the question, what's worked really well and what have we learned? And then we course correct or at each point through that process, so that actually the plan at the 90-day point will be quite different in some ways from what we originally had during the interview process. So it will change. As the great boxer Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the face. And I think what he meant by that is plans are really necessary and they're a great tool, but understand that they will have to be refined and adapted as the real situation becomes more clear. So there we go. I hope you found that useful. I'll be welcoming any comments that you might have in the comment section below. And if you think this might be useful for other people, then please do feel free to like and share this video. I'll also be putting the blog that I wrote about this in the comments below. And thanks very much.